Okay, so today we're going to be learning about balayage. So I just want to see what you guys know so far about balayage. So has everyone heard of balayage before? Yeah. Has anyone had balayage done to their hair? No one? Okay. And do you guys know anyone who has a balayage done to their hair? Yeah, your friend. Okay. Okay, so what is balayage? So balayage comes from the French word balayer, meaning to sweep. So it creates more of a natural looking highlighted effect. So when you're doing the placement of a balayage, it's going to be vertical. And when you apply the color, you're going to apply it to the ends and then you're going to feather it up. So what it does, it mimics what your hair would look like if you have it naturally highlighted by the sun. So why would you recommend balayage to a client? Does anyone have any ideas? Any ideas?
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, that's a good one. Do you guys have anything? No? Okay. Okay, so here are some of the reasons. So it gives it a sun-kissed look. It's more of a natural hair color. It's softer and more natural grow out. It creates dimension to the hairstyle. It's lower maintenance, so for clients that don't want to come in as often, it's perfect for them. So clients don't need to come in for a touch-up as they would for their roots as often, and it's less damaging to the hair. So how you would choose the right shade of color. So in the summer months, you want to go something more lighter and more vibrant. For the winter, you want to choose some cooler tones and ash tones. If your skin's a bit darker, you want to do some deep reds, coppers, cool ash tones. For medium skin tones, you're going to want to choose rich browns, coppers, violet tones. And for light skin tones, you guys want to choose something more ashier or golden caramel tones. Okay, so here's some photos of balayage. So you can kind of see the V shape that it has. So you can do all different types of colors with balayage. There's a red one and everything like that for you guys to see. Okay, so what we're gonna need to get started is you're gonna need your gloves, your safety glasses, your apron. You're gonna need 2 towels. So one towel, you're gonna wanna wet it, and you're gonna need your 4 clips, which you already have in your sections, a tail comb, your color bowl, a tint brush, lightener, foil, and 40 volume. Okay, so we'll get started now. You don't have to end it. We'll just push it back. Okay, so since you guys already have your sections done, you're gonna put your apron on and get all set up for everything. And then put your goggles on and your gloves. You guys have everything? Okay, so now we're gonna mix our lightener. So we're gonna use 40 volume for this because we wanna get her super light. scissors to open this?
It's my son's school.
I got it. Okay, so when you guys mix your lightener, you're not going to want it super runny, just because then that's going to spread more. So you kind of want to have it sit where you place it. So if you guys need help mixing your lightener, just let me know. I'll come over and I'll help you guys. So you kind of want a consistency like this. If you guys can see that. Right? Okay, so when you begin, you're going to take your first section. I'm going to face this way first, and then I'll face towards you guys after. So you can either take your first section straight across, or you can do it more on a diagonal. So I like to take mine kind of on a diagonal, just because it's more of a natural look. So you don't want your diagonal to be very steep, just like a slight one, okay? Can you guys see it from where it's ending? Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna take your first section. You wanna make sure you have a strong grip on it, okay? And you're gonna make a V shape. So start about here. You don't wanna go super high up, then it's harder to blend. So kind of start in the middle and just brush it up. And then you're gonna do the same to the other side. If you need more product, don't put a lot of product on your brush. That's all you need. Because if you put a lot, it's going to be harder to blend for you. And then you kind of want to lift it up a bit. See if you got it saturated through. If not, just kind of brush the back of it. So once you do that, then you're going to get a little bit more product. Just place it right at the bottom, like around here. And you're going to feather it up, like that. If you don't like it, if you think it's too straight across, you can always feather it up a little bit more. And then you're gonna brush it down. Check the back, see if you got the back. So when it comes to this part, it's a little bit more trickier. So you're gonna wanna use the back of your hand to paint on. So you're gonna place the piece of hair on the brush, place your hand underneath, and then brush over top of your hand. And then if you're getting too close to the end, pick it up with your brush, place it again, and then brush down. So since you don't want to get the lightener on your client or on any other piece of hair that's not gonna have lightener on it, you're just gonna place the foil right underneath it. Okay? Just like that. And if you see anything, if you see any blobs of bleach, you can always grab your towel and just kind of wipe it off if you don't like it there. Or if you want to blend it a little bit more while it's on the foil, then you can always grab that and then feather it up a little bit more. Okay, and then just place the foil on top of it. So when you're placing your foil on top, you don't want to squish it. So if you squish it, the lightener's not going to sit where you put it, and then it's going to spread and kind of be blotchy, right? So just place it nicely. If you find your foils aren't sticking and it keeps falling off, what you can do with the edges is just fold it in. And then it will hold. You can even do the bottom as well if that works better for you. Just like that. So you guys can either do every single piece all the way up, or you can do every other piece. So when you take your next section, you want it to be the same as the first section that you took. So do your slight diagonal. And if you think it's too thick, you can always go back, take it a little bit thinner. Okay, and then you're gonna repeat that. And, okay, you can turn that off. I'll face you guys. Okay, so I'll just face this way so you guys can see as well. Does anyone have any questions so far? No one? You guys are good?
I kind of have a question, like about how you can do every other piece. Like, what would that look like? Like
Sorry?
doing every other piece. Like,
Yeah, it would look nice.
Like, but like, would you just take it down and just not dye a piece of hair?
Sorry?
Like, you just take 2 pieces down and like not dye one? Like,
Yeah,
like-
so see this section,
Yeah.
right? So I took it a little bit wider, right? So when you take, you're not gonna color this whole piece. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your section from there. So then let that piece drop, and then you're gonna do this piece. If you decide to do every piece, you're not gonna take that big of a section.
So you would have to foil up the ones that you didn't do, right?
No, so you just leave that out, right? I'll show you what it looks like every other piece, just so you have an idea. So yeah, so if you wanted to do every piece, you do this, clip that away, and do the same as the first step, right? So since I'm just showing you guys not every piece, you take that. Okay, can you girls see? Yeah, okay. So remember, not a lot of lightener on your brush. Start in the middle and work your way up. If you find you have too much product here, you can always take it off your brush, right? Bring it up. Same with the other side. Use the back of your hand. So it will stick pretty good to the back of your hand. So if you find you're not getting enough control, just lift it up, replace your hand. And if you need to repaint it while it's on your foil, you can always do that. Okay. So you're gonna keep repeating those steps. Now I'm gonna show you where it gets kind of wider in the area of the head. So this section might be too big for you guys. You can choose to do it like this big if you want. If you find it's hard to control, just split it in half, right? And here's another technique of how you can do it. So know how we were doing the V shape? So now we're gonna put it higher up here and then kind of blend it down on an angle. So you're gonna place it right here, bring it up, and then bring it down. So we're not gonna do the V. It's up to you guys. If you wanna do the V throughout, you can, or if you wanna try some of these, whichever you're comfortable with, or if you wanna try new techniques. Okay, so let me just show you the front. So your client may want a little bit of a thicker piece in the front. So how you can achieve that is you can just do some slices. So if everyone wants to take a look at your hair, you have the style where it's very light in the front, right?
Yeah.
So if you want your client to have that look, just take a slice in the front. So you can do that first before you do your balayage, just so you can see your sections better. And then do the same to the other side. Make sure both sides are even. So when you're doing the front, if you choose to, you don't want to take a section this thick. If you take a section this thick, it's gonna not process properly. It's gonna be kind of, like you'll get cheetah prints on the roux and you don't want that. So take a thinner section, place that back. Place it under. So this one, it's not a balayage, but it can go with your balayage. So just get your foil. You want to make sure all the hair is saturated, okay? So when I lift up my foil, I can see that I missed some parts. So you just want to keep applying a little bit more product. So you do want to flip it up twice, just so it's not in her face. And then just fold the corners in, okay? Take your next section and then you're going to repeat the same step. Can everyone see from this angle? Does anyone else have any questions so far? Everyone's good? So when you're folding your foil, take it, fold it once, and then fold it again. What you can do also is lift it up, and with your tail comb, replace that foil so it's nice and close to the scalp, just so you don't get any bleeding. Okay. So you're always going to want to keep your hands clean. So only put the lightener on the back of your hand. If you get it on this side, wipe it off with your wet towel, okay? Just because you don't want to keep putting lightener all over her. And then the front, you're going to repeat the same. So take your angle, and then you can start. Does it seem pretty simple to you guys, or do you guys want to see more or anything? You're good? Okay. Okay, so if you guys want to start, just make sure you have everything up there that's listed, and you can begin.